All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Only 50 seconds late today. So we're doing better. We're doing better. Had a few things to get set up. So thanks for being here. Looking over the chat, who do we have this morning? I'm seeing Thunder Keys. Good morning, sir. Reth was first. We got Martin, Aaron, Kay Fegley. I don't know that I've seen you here before. Good morning. Welcome. Mike, DaVinci 10. Nathan is back. Kittrell's here. And that's about it. Unless Almighty Malachi, good morning. Nomad, good morning. Oh, hi there. I love it. Kill an angel. You guys are killing me with that. No, good morning. So today the plan, I'm really excited. The plan is to get the Prusawire going a little more. You're doing this conversion soon? Great. Hopefully these streams help you. We're going to get a little more done on the Prusawire build today, so hopefully get the Gantry on. I was able to cut down that extrusion from last week and get a few more of the parts. And so hopefully we can make some progress today. I did prep the rails and the bearings by greasing everything and getting those good to go. Things seem to be moving smoothly, so we'll install all those parts. I didn't get the stuff that I needed for the bed. I made the order after stream immediately once we got finished, but it didn't ship until 2 days ago. So that stuff's not here. We're not going to be able to finish the Y-axis today, but we can do the gantry and hopefully get a little far on the stealth burner and things like that. Cool. So what are we talking about in chat? Printing Ambrosia GF. Okay. Biting your nails because you're using it with the MMU3. Ooh, good luck with that. Good luck. Orange and black. Nice. Yeah, so this is all black ambrosia glass fiber. And I think my orange, though, I think the orange is bamboo glass fiber. But that's black ambrosia glass fiber. Have to pick colors. Yeah, that's always the hardest part, is picking what color you want to go with. I'm already building another printer on the side that I'm not streaming. And that was pretty tough for me to figure out the color scheme that I wanted to go with. But I got something really nice. So as soon as I'm able to show that one off on stream, I will do so. Just dropping by to drop the third like. I appreciate that. Pretty Wolf has a point. If you're here, go ahead and like the stream. Doesn't cost you anything and it helps out the channel. So I appreciate it. Boo, no Y-axis. I know. I went to Printed Solid and ordered my parts because I thought that would be here a little quicker than ordering from Prusa directly. I could not find those bed standoff expansion joints, whatever they're called. I couldn't find those anywhere but Prusa Solid in the States. I thought they would ship a little quicker, but it didn't. It took about 5 days for them to actually ship that stuff. So, yeah, it'll be next week. We finish up the Y-axis. Hey, Happy, good morning. Thanks for those panels. I haven't gotten them yet, but I appreciate you cutting them and sending them as quick as you did. Zero G Nebula and Space Gray. Hollymaker Galaxy Purple, Dark Gray. That's going to look good. Space Gray is one of my favorite frame colors. My second favorite color, actually my first favorite color, is green. So that LDO green frame that they don't make anymore, that is my absolute favorite frame color. The second, very close second, is the Space Gray. And that's what my Micron is Space Gray frame. Been a little backlog. Hey, no big deal. Just putting it out there. We're not going to be able to get to the X-axis until parts arrive. So generally, I like to have 1 or 2 projects going at the same time, simply because things like this happen and you can't predict everything. Shipping is crazy right now. So having something else to fall back to or a plan B is always a good idea. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Have a pic of it. Yay. Fegley Viper GTSR. If you want to share the picture, jump into the Discord, drop it in there. There should be a streaming chat channel. Or just put it in general if you need to. And then we'll get there. How do you get into the giveaway? Yeah, good point. Good point. Let me open that up for you all and turn off this constant zoom in, zoom out that I'm seeing on the camera here. let me get the link for you guys, and then we can go from there. How's that sound? So let me get you this. And okay, we're turning that on. And I'll drop you a link in chat, and then we'll pin that. Sorry, I'm just doing some things behind the scenes, so give me a second. We got a lot of stuff in here from last week that I need to clean out. Doing that real quick. Okay, that should be good. I should have did this before. I kind of forget that I give away filament and other stuff, and so I don't always remember to go in here and reset things for you all. So I do apologize. So I think that's good now. Let me share this. Just 1 second. Good to go. Okay, let me put this in chat. All right, here you go. There is your giveaway link. So if you go in there and you sign up, should be able to get what you need. F, are you not hearing me? Really? What is going on? Oh, I saw the F. I'm seeing Mike happening. Filament rack is amazing. Yeah, so this one is off of Amazon. I just got this week, and you can see up top I've got all my ambrosia stuff up there, and then over here I've got all my Sparta, and then as we go down there's a little bit of a mix of stuff. Mostly you're seeing Bamboo Lab stuff here, a couple extra things, and then as we get lower it is less organized and more like niche one-off, because I wanted to try out that filament brand as you go down. But a lot of bamboo filament, a lot of Sparta. Before they had before ambrosia came in sparkle, I used to use Sparta, so that's why this is just kind of here. Then you got more over here. There's also an entire other rack just out of frame over there you can't really see, and then above me I've got a rep rack full of filament, and then a couple other bins behind there you can't really see. So make sure to check out KB3D. They have a bomb kit incoming. Love that. Good. Yes. Hey, Aaron, as soon as you get that, let's advertise it, man. So if you get a link before I do, great. You just dropped it in there. Yeah. Let's get out there and check out that kit. If you have a Prusa Mark III and you want to rebuild into a Prusawire like we're doing here today on stream, it seems like there's a configurator kit that you can use. That's awesome. Thanks for the sub, Spin. Appreciate that. All right. Big news. Make sure to click notify me when available. Yes, will do. Big news. So, Reth, our community supporter Reth, also the guy behind 3D Printing Elves, he reached out and asked about doing a giveaway. So what we're going to do after we finish this build is we are going to give it away to one of you all. Here's the catch. It's a raffle. All right. So the raffle is going to raise money for 3D Printing Elves, and all of that is going to go back into the nonprofit so that we can take care of kids during Christmas. All right. We're going to make sure they get toys. We're going to make sure they have a good Christmas. So your hard-earned money that you use to buy raffle tickets to win this Prusawire when we're finished with it is going to go right back to making sure kids have a good Christmas. So we are donating this build to a good cause to help out Reth and his nonprofit. Sound good? More details on that as we get through the rest of the build. A lot of other things other than the printer, so there'll be multiple chances to win a thing, okay? So Moji 3D's in. I love it. So as soon as we get details, we'll push that out to you all. You'll see it right here on my channel. Also, Armor 3D, we're partnering with him, going to make it a collective thing. So he's going to give away some stuff as well. If you're a fan of Armor 3D on YouTube, you can go over there and check his channel out and sign up through him as well. Cool? All right, let's get to building. That's all the announcements. Hopefully you guys are signing up for the filament giveaway. I'm not going to 3D Printopia. It's a little bit out of range for me. I could not even go to not Rocky Mountain, Vice. Vice is up in Portland, which is, you know, just a quick plane ride, but I couldn't even make that work, unfortunately. So going to 3D Printopia is a little bit out of scope for me right now. Okay, so this is where we left off last week. I promise I haven't done anything extra. Once we got done with stream, I put this to the side, and then I just went on about my life. It's been a pretty crazy week, so no real progress on anything. But I did find yesterday, I was out here, I did find those extra bearings that we were looking for to do the gantry. And I found these in the most not common place. They were over in a bin somewhere over there in extra parts. So I think these are probably not the ones I ordered. I'm fairly sure that Amazon did not send me what I ordered. So pretty irritated about that. And then I printed the cover panels. So this one I just printed face down. That way this more, I don't know, ironed texture is down. And so this is like the build surface texture here. It's that satin build sheet. Printed on the H2D that you can see right there. Came out great. So I printed that. That'll go on there to make it look nice and cover up the electronics when we get those installed. Also printed the ones for the rear. This is in the remix section. If you look on printables, there are two parts that you need. They kind of go like this, and they install around the back to sort of cover up all of the back portions there. So you'll need that, and then you'll need this block here, and the block indexes on the back of this guy like that, and allows you to have something to connect the two panels with, and ultimately you'll end up with a solid panel that looks like that. If you wanted to laser cut this out of acrylic or something, you totally could do that if you have a laser. I do have a laser over there that I could use. I just don't have any acrylic. So if that's something the winner of this machine would like, I will cut you a laser acrylic panel, and we'll put that on here. But I do quite like the stealth satin look of the ones that we printed. How do you get the raffle ticket? Robert Brown, we're going to announce all of those details in the coming weeks. There's some housekeeping that we have to do behind the scenes to make sure that the raffle is all set up and good to go, so that you guys have the best experience and we're not dealing with any hiccups that may impact your ability to raffle or anything like that. So more to come. We don't really have a lot to share today other than the announcement that it is happening. Okay. We're targeting somewhere around $10 per ticket. So for each ticket you get, that gets you one entry into the drawing. Like I said, we're going to have multiple prizes for the raffle. One of them will be this very machine right here. I will personally box this up and package this and ship it to you, or whoever the winner is. I need some tools. So again, roughly $10 for that, and more details to follow. I guess the real question is, how do you guys feel about the raffle? Is this something that you want to participate in? Or are you more like, no, I just want to build my own. I'd rather have fun doing that instead of getting something ready built. What are your guys' thoughts? All right, so this is the work that we did. Let me move this camera up just a touch for you. So I'm just loosening the top rod holders here and sort of twisting those out of the way so we can get some rods in there. And I did go with the 10mm rods. And like I said, I greased up the bearings and things are sliding very smoothly. and those will go right in there. Although, as I place that there, those rods are not fitting into the hole. So I wonder if I printed the parts for. I feel like I printed the parts for the 8mm rods down here because that's not even close. Well, that's okay. We get to print some new ones. That's unfortunate, but we still get to build a gantry, so that's cool. Did I build the X-axis yet? No, we're gonna build the X-axis today. Did I print 8mm parts? I did. Yeah, F. So again, the print practice, right? Check the top parts as well. Yeah, good point. Top parts do look like 8mm though. So I think the original idea before I decided to upgrade to the 10mm rods was to just reuse everything to not have any cost. But when Reth and I decided to give this away as part of the raffle, I wanted to really make it nice for the winner. And so upgrading to the 10mm rods is just really nice. And then we got a honey badger rail from Fabrico. So that'll be a good quality rail for you. Again, everything is in glass fiber, so we were already planning to make this really nice in the first place. But now you'll get a few extras as well. So I got to reprint basically all of those. So these two parts here and these two orange parts here. Not ideal, but them's the breaks. Okay, so I guess we'll just transition away from doing the rods and stuff, and we'll just build the gantry today, and we'll see how that works out. So I'm gonna take you over to the desktop here. You have a small sheet of acrylic you'd love to give me since I'm so generous? Robert, I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, shoot me a message on Discord and we can work out logistics on how to make that happen. I would appreciate it. All right, so again, rods are going to be on hold because I messed up and printed the wrong part. This is a Z1 rail, so this is not going to slide on its own. You got a very tight tolerance on this honey badger rail. 350 12H rail. That's what we planned for in the bomb. So in the meantime, let me get some parts out here. I've got the cut down X-axis, hand cut by me. I wish I had like a chop saw or something like that, but I just don't. My workshop is not as flushed out as some other makerspaces. You like the idea of helping others, so as long as the money goes where you say, then I believe this is a wonderful thing. Thanks. Yep. So we do have Reth in the chat, and it will absolutely be all proceeds for this raffle will go directly to the 3D printing elves and what they do every holiday season. We just did an event where we gave away 1,800 toys to 600 teachers. Fantastic, man. I would love to participate in that. You guys are just a little bit far out of range for me. But I plan to come see you here very, very soon. I think we got this 4-day coming up, and we had talked about coming up there and whatnot. So we'll meet up. We say it looks like an extrusion. Yes, it does. I need some T-nuts in here, though. I've got several kinds, and I think for the X-axis, the ones that I want to use out of my collection here are the slide-in versions. From that event, we now have orders for 450 toys. Great. Reth, tell me what we need, man, and I'll jump in. I'll put some of these printers to work. They've been sort of idle all week long. I haven't, again, just overwhelmed with all kinds of stuff at work and whatnot. And so I've had no bandwidth to slice things and get them printing. I'm also working on a bachelor's as well, and so those things take a lot of my time. I'm in my final week, so I've got this huge paper to write, and I've spent basically all last week researching and getting a solid rough draft going, plus all the work things that I do. So not a lot of printing going on in the workshop this week. Okay. I thought I had some slide-in versions, but I guess I'll just use the standard T-nut here. Make sure to check the extrusion for flatness. Okay, what do you recommend? How would you recommend I check it? Because what I've done already is so that's not off of anything. That's an extra extrusion I had laying around that was from my hypercube build. So when I took that apart and turned it into a V2, some of the extrusions were left over. This is the one that I had. So this is my straight edge here. This is about as good as I have in the shop. And if I place that on the extrusion, that looks dead flat to me on that axis, and then same over here. And that's the way that I checked it. It's as straight as I'm going to be able to measure right now. There's no light coming through. I'm not able to slide anything beneath the rule. So unless you have something else that you recommend, Aaron, that's as flat as I'm going to be able to measure. Roll-ins work. 3D Printing Elves gives toys all year round. So far, they have given 7,250 plus toys. Fantastic. What's up, Martin? Email you? You're not a Discord fan. Sure. If you're the same Robert Brown that I think you are, I will try to email you. I don't know that I have your email address, though. I'll tell you what, Robert, if you want to help, shoot me a message on YouTube. I think they do messaging there. And we'll figure out something. Should be good. Just identify one side that is flat. Yeah, it looks flat on both sides. Robert Overlord, good morning. All right, so I just pulled out some of those slide-in T-nuts. I don't have any M3 roll-in T-nuts at the moment. They're probably in another bin somewhere, but I don't have them super handy. So let me see what we have in this case here. Yeah, so here, I'll tell you what. Let's because we're making this really nice for the winter. Let's use some of these fancy black T-nuts. These are M3s. I think I need about 5 or 6 of those. So we'll take 7 out just in case. And then if you guys really want to get fancy, we can use some of this black hardware. So black T-nuts, black hardware with silver rail. I think that'd be pretty nice. Yeah, let's do it like that. All right, so I'm just gonna loosely place this on here. I do have some rail guides. I'll be right back. I want to make sure that things are straight on here. At least straight to the rail. Because I build a lot of machines, what I invested in quite a long time ago were these CNC'd versions of rail aligners. So I normally don't print anything for an MGN 12 to a 2020 rail because I do have these. These are just CNC cut. I'm able to bolt through if I need to, but generally I just slide them on like that, and that works pretty well for me. I also have some for 2040. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I think we'll do, how many holes do we have? One. I'm gonna do every other hole. That's what I generally do anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do the end. 6. We need 6 in here. So I'll do 3 either side. And we'll get that bolted up. Aaron, kind of counting on you to tell me if I am going in the order that you would. I think this is right, though. I think I need to get a rail on. And then go from there as far as putting on the end caps and stuff like that. I'm going to just bolt this on loosely for now. That way we have some play in where it goes. And then from here, I just move stuff out of the way. I think we can do 7. Let's just do 7 just because. And line these up with generally the right place. I just tend to hold the rail on sort of at the edge, and then from there line up my different T-nuts to where I want them to be. And it doesn't matter if it's in the center right now. We can move this slightly as we go. All right, so that one there, we'll put this one down here in the middle. Just want to go here, here. So that's roughly what we're going to do. And then from there, kind of look down through the rail and make sure we're good. Get a little finer adjustment on things. You just need to be close. There is some play in the rail. We're not going to tighten this down all the way. And do it like that. Yeah, probably fine. You went overkill with every hole having a T-nut. Yeah, I've not ever really done that. You can. I don't know that we're worried about mass on the x-axis here. So if you want to add additional grams to your x-axis on a bed slinger like this, I think it's fine. But again, it's kind of unnecessary. So if you want to save yourself some hardware and some material costs, then I would go every other hole. I mean, I've done pretty much all of the missed that one somehow. I've done all the other builds the same way. For X, Y, and Z axis, I've always skipped holes, and it seemed to work just fine. I've never had issues with that. Just using a pick to align. These are automotive picks. I got these at the AutoZone, I think, and they work great. This one is a straight one that I've sort of bent the tip over, and then I have another one that's actually like a hook. These are O-ring picks, but I use them for stuff like this because it's absolutely great to get down in those small holes and just adjust the alignment of things. So another tool to help you out building printers if you don't have it. They're pretty cheap too. I think for a pack of 4 was just only a couple of bucks. Hey Boothie, good morning. Quick drop in chores. We'll be back later. No, all good. Thanks for being here. Good morning. All right, some additional hardware. I'll just drop that back in the container. All right, now before you tighten, you want to align these things. Again, I'm not tightening now. I'm just going to make sure that the rail is in the center of the extrusion relatively. So right there, I'm about 25 from the end. And then over here, I'm about 23. So we'll split the difference and make it 24 on either side. About right there. Again, not super tightening, just getting them snug so that the rail doesn't move or slide. And then once we get the ends on there, we can make another adjustment. All right, so that's that. I did leave the caps on here so this rail doesn't exit the rail. I'm sorry, the carriage doesn't exit the rail. But it is going to be vertical like that too, so don't put your rails on upside down. That would drive me nuts. All right, let's take a look at the CAD and see where we got to go. 90 hours on the Prusawire. Love it. I'm probably only going to get a few hours. I will test it to make sure that things are moving well and stuff like that before I ship it out to the winter. But I don't know that I'm going to put a ton of hours on it. Okay. So on this, it's a 3-part joiner. First you have this outside piece, and then you have this inside piece, and then the cap for holding the bearing. 7 rolling nuts, but only 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're correct. Where's the other one? Yep, I missed one. Good point. Good catch. I will get that one going here in a second. All right, we fixed it. You're good to go. Thank you for seeing that. Cool, we're good. Thanks, Steve P. Steve P is the savior of the day. All right. On this outside piece, that's your front Z block, and then you have the rear. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Getting the X-axis good to go on the Prusawire. Something I noticed in CAD earlier, with that there are 3 spacers here. So these shims, there are 3 of these. I think that should be about a 0.5 millimeter each. Hey, GTR Dad, good morning. So all told, that should be 1.5 millimeters between the 3 spacers or shims here. And then there's another one on the back side of that bearing, right? So that's how we're going to do it. And then on this other side here, it's reversed. So you have 1 shim on the outside, and then on the opposite end, let's turn these belts off so we can see what's going on. And then on the opposite side of this, you've got 3 at the back. So that's how we're gonna go. Form already says you submitted. Do I keep the same list? So I thought that I had cleared that out. What I can tell you, Jeff, is that I am seeing your name in here. So you'll be good. When I pull the list, actually no. So let me clear this out real quick. Sorry for the 2 of you that have entered the giveaway. I'm gonna ask you to hold off for a second, and then we're gonna do it again. So I apologize. Trying to figure out how to clear this. Okay, I think we're good now. Hey, Fegley, you're saying something. 1 second, I'll get back to you here. So Robert Brown and Kyle Fegley, you're already in here. I'm gonna not erase you, but for everyone else who would like to do the giveaway, I'll turn it back on, and it should be good to go now. Yep, so Robert Brown and Kyle Fegley, you're still in there. I did not delete you. You should be good to go. For, who was it, GTR Dad? You should be able to enter now. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like that CAD is incorrect. Should be 1 shim per side. Okay, this is the one that is from the page. So we may need to update the link. But I mean, that's what the CAD is saying, is that I've got 3 shims at the back and then 1 in the front. I'll tell you what, we'll figure it out as we put these things together. And then for my hardware, I've got a 30. These all appear to be 3030 or M330 screws throughout. So I hope I have enough of those. This build takes a lot of M3 by 30s. I didn't expect that. I think I have enough. I'm probably pretty close, but we'll see. Okay. Form was good. All right, Jeff, thanks for the confirmation. Okay, let me find my parts here, and we'll get to moving on some of this. All right, so again, big basket of parts. Put that out of the way. Moving stuff around the desk to make room here. Okay, so I've got these here. So this is a front piece. This is a rear piece. I think that's a matching set. Yep, appears to be. So that's a matching set there. I think that goes on that side. And then over here, another matching set. This should go on that side. And then we have 2 carriers. Okay, so You need three per shim washer. Okay, thanks. All right, so just moving stuff around a little bit. Okay, these carriers, when they print, to ensure that they print a little better, there are bridges that go across here to increase that surface area to get better adhesion. You have to snip those off. So I removed that single layer of a bridge. It's not even a bridge because it's face down like so. But that bridging feature, you're going to have to cut off to be able to get your bearings in there. So yeah. Over here, I think I'm gonna start right to left and we'll see how that goes. But looks like I can go ahead and place this rail, I'm sorry, this extrusion in and sort of bolt that. And then same over here, I should be able to do that afterwards. So I think I'm gonna put a T-nut in the back side of this first as I drop my tools on the ground. So we'll put extra T-nuts in here in the back side. I need some M5. And lucky for you all, we do have black hardware for that as well. So I know that I need 6 because 3 each side. You will need square nuts in those parts. I've already done the square nuts in these, so it's kind of hard to tell. But this feature here and this feature here does take a square nut. I did push those in, and we have already done the heat certs. You will need M3 nuts on this part as well, but those square nuts are already inserted. For this M5 screw, that's what I'm looking for next. It looks like it is an M5 by 10. I should have plenty of those. I'll just grab 6 of those. Okay, we got 6 of those. And I'm using 2020 M5 black T-nuts, again, to keep it nice for the winter. And we'll just place that inside there. So 1 at the back. The way that I'm doing is I'm having the hole to the outside. There is a long side and a short side of these T-nuts. That's going to give me the maximum ability to sort of center that up. Sometimes, depending on how close together the hole features are in your part, you may have to go short side to short side like so, because going the other way, they can't get close enough to be able to grab anything. So it's a good technique that I use all the time versus, you know, sometimes. Okay, so if I flip this and we put M5 through here, should be able to grab where I need it to. Grab the bigger so that's on and over. I'm just going to snug that up against the rail and go ahead and tighten that down like that. And just looking at it to make sure it's sitting flush on the rail, on the the extrusion, and it does look like it's not rotating at all, so that's good. And then I'll do the same on this side here. Just getting that on and then pressing it all the way up against the end of the extrusion and trying to snug that down. That's good. We got no rotation on that, and that one's got a little bit, so we can go a little tighter. I'm trying not to crack the plastic there. While we're on this step, though, I am going to insert these M3 nuts. I thought that I had some black ones, keeping with the black and orange theme, but I don't think I do. So we may have to use silver ones there. Luckily, they're on the back. They don't specifically matter to the build per se. I was just trying to keep it good for you all. So we'll jump into the stash here and see what we got. All right, so let's get these out. And I've got a couple of black ones. So there's a black one. Press that in there. Another black one here. I think I have 4 black ones. Use the tool to press that in the part. Probably should have done this when I put those square nuts in there, but I didn't notice it at the time. And I know that the parts were updated as well, so if you are in the middle of printing parts, I would double check to ensure that you have the most up-to-date. There were some updates on the repo. I say repo, but on the printables list, on the 21st, so 3 days ago, there were some updates. Hey, good morning, 3D Medic Vince. Steve P, have them pieces been reprinted for the 10mm rods? These have not. These were always printed with 10mm. So the bearing, right? So we're worried about the bearing. This is the 10mm bearing. That fits in there just fine. I actually did check that one when I was lubing these yesterday. I just forgot that I had printed the other ones for 8mm. So we're good on these pieces here. It's the rod holders that were incorrect. And so realistically, what I should be doing right now is reprinting those. I just don't have black glass fiber loaded in the machine. I do have the orange, so I could reprint the top 2 pieces, but the bottom 2, I don't have black loaded, so I don't want to have to load filament and all that stuff while I keep you guys waiting. The XZ joints are universal. They are, right? You guys have, I think I tossed them, but there are sleeves where you can put your 8mm bearings in there to make them 10mm in diameter. All right, so back pieces are on. I'm gonna go ahead and put these other T-nuts in here before I forget. I would hate to build the bearing stacks just to not have the T-nuts in where I need them. Okay, so we'll go like that. And like so. Okay. I'm just aligning those top ones with the holes that are already there in the parts. Cool. And I'll probably do the same on these front ones where I think they probably go. Again, we can use a pick to get down in there and align that. Okay, so those are good. Hey Steve, good morning. Aaron, you recommend going to 10mm all around? Okay, Fegley, I don't know if they do that on the y-axis, but you probably could modify something. But if it is in your... Rods are pretty affordable. Like these rods and bearings were not too much. I think $20 for... what is it, 2 rods and 4 bearings. I had to buy them separately, and I got them on Amazon. So getting these are pretty affordable and cheap. Doing it for the y-axis, I don't know what that looks like. These bearings are pretty large. I don't know if that works well with the current bed, so you may have to modify your bed plate. I don't know. So if you have 8mm, go 8mm. Yeah, you don't have to buy anything if you stick with 8mm. Only if you want to upgrade your Z-axis to the 10mm rod will you need to purchase anything extra. So it really kind of depends on your budget and what you want to do. Aaron's running 8mm. They seem fine. So yeah, I mean the printer itself works fine anyway with 8mm rods all the way around. That's how Prusa designed it, and it works. It worked fine for that. So I mean, it should work fine for a rebuild as well. Okay, now I know that we have some bearings in here. So remembering from the CAD, working on this right-hand side, it appears to have, so that I remember, You've got the one on the bottom on that stud, plus 2 bearings, and then three shims on the top there. So just move some stuff out of the way. We'll put our parts box down over there. Oh, did something weird. Why is 8mm only? Yeah, I thought so without, you know, some serious modification of the bed carriage. Yeah, that bed carriage is made for 8mm bearings. If you try to do something else, you're gonna have to modify it, cut it, maybe send it off to a metal manufacturing company and get them to cut you like a new one with larger spacing in there. Just trying to find what I did with all of the shims that I was using last week. Kind of walked away and I didn't move anything, but somehow I forgot where I put my shims. Let's check out in here. That's annoying. Oh. Here they go. They were hiding under the display. Go 8s. Yeah, it'd be a lot of work to go with 10s, and I don't know that you would get a ton of extra benefit from that. So again, it's all about what you want to do, though. It's your build. So if you want to go 10, go 10. I am not the build police. Okay, so you got one that goes on there. I think what I'm gonna do as a good technique is probably just put my M30s through here, my M3x30s through here, and see how that works out first. Again, we're gonna give you some black hardware on it. Hey Steve, Steve, if you're still here, we're gonna give this printer away. So once we finish up this Prusawire build, we're gonna raffle it off to benefit 3D printing elves. What do you think about that? You wanna get in on this? I think Steve is probably lurking. He's getting set up for stream too. Yeah, very nice tolerances on those parts. Good job to Ella for that. Just making sure these are 30s, and they are. So. And I'm pretty sure I need another one up here in this top corner. So that goes there, and then through the side, you're gonna need, I think, 4 more per side. So again, a lot of M3x30 hardware, which is a little less common than what you get in you know, one of these kits like this. This goes from 4 to 20, so make sure that if you're going to do this, that you have enough hardware to do all the things. Okay, so I think I'll do this in reverse. The way this one works, I go back over here. There's just so much stuff on the desk, it's hard to move around. Okay. I'm trying to think of this in reverse. As I have this here, I should see 3 shims first. So I've got 1 on the stud here. Raffle would be cool. Yeah, raffle is good. Drinking coffee and waking up. What was that? Oh, Steve. So we're gonna do a raffle. We're gonna raffle off this Prusawire, this very build that we're building right now today on stream. We're gonna raffle this off. All proceeds going to 3D printing elves. If you would like to be involved, we would love your input. And Nomad seems like he's down to participate. So I think what we should probably do is, if you guys are interested, we can include you on the Discord that we're talking in, the message that we're on, the message chat, and then you guys can find out more, ask questions, make suggestions, whatever way that you want to be involved. I'm sure the kids would appreciate it. On that stud, looking at one there, and then 3. Why does this look backwards? 3 here. Okay, so this is right. Let's take this off of here. Having this backwards is driving my brain nuts. So I think what I'm gonna do is instead, I'm going to turn the front of this on and then come around back and just hide all of this other stuff. That way I don't have to invert everything in my brain. Turn all of this off. TSU and turn all that off. Here we go. And we'll do it this way. And for the rail, we can turn that linear rod up. And so now when I look at these bearing stacks from the front, they look like they should. Hey Patty, good morning. Prusawire Beta 1 hardware kit on KB3D. Look at that. Nomad coming in with a link to save you 5%. So if you want to build one of these, Nomad's going to save you some cash. Right, Porty, they are probably out of stock because they're taking pre-orders, so you can sign up to be notified. Turn all these bearings back on, then we have a good visual of what I am doing. Not that one. Where are the rest of these bearings? When you say the charity, I'm not hearing the last part. I'm sorry, 3D Printing Elves. Here we go. 3D Printing Elves. Rhett's nonprofit that he runs with Voron Widow. So all proceeds go to them. We are raffling off a Prusawire. So my build here, and then Reth is going to do a thing. Armor 3D is included in this, and he would like to help out. It sounds like Nomad wants to help as well. If you would like to help, just hit us up. No harm, no foul, no pressure. Yeah, that's Reth. He looks exactly like this guy. I mean, it is. He even dresses this way. That's how close this is. Yeah, I'll reach out to you, Steve. Thanks. Just trying to. Where is the other bearings here? Are there none? Hey, Iconic Fab. Good morning. One there, and then this is the one that has the 3, right? Okay, so that makes sense to me. All right, we'll leave that up. That way I can reference. So when you got it set up this way, it looks like you have 3 shims here first. So we'll do that, and then you've got the 1 shim here first. So on the stud goes 1. On the free range is what I'm going to call it. We're going to do 3. We've got 3 here, 1 here, and then we do bearings. Bearings are right here. Wear that hat every day. I believe it. Well, last time I was up there, you were wearing the hat. Voron Widow as well. Like so. And that's to space that off. Keeps the belt path in alignment like it should be with whatever your top idlers are going to be. And then over here, we've got the 1 shim first. So we do that. And so we need to basically reverse. So I'll do 3 shims here. And that seems to check. And then over here, on the free range one, we'll just do the single. pull out 4 more bearings for this other side. And that gives us 2 spares for later. Okay, so that goes like so. And then I know where things are going to get weird is I have to turn this over and put it on there. So I'm going to steal the bearing off of the rod and go ahead and place that in here. And I almost sort of want to do in here first that, because I think that'll just slide in after the fact. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and then we'll turn this over so we don't lose all of our hardware. I'll turn this rail over and place that on there. Thickness of it, let's see if we can align that. Not a great way to do this one, so we'll do our best not to lose hardware. There we go, so we'll get that on there like so. And then pinch that together and flip that over. Alright. That seemed to work good for me. And then as I start to do up this hardware, I'm just going to get it started through some of the M3 nuts in the back to hold it together before I let go. Alright, so I can see that things are through the heat sets and the nuts there. So that should be good to go. And now I could take my bearing with no rod and just lay that in there and slide that into place. Again, I do have those M3 square nuts through there. And so when I add this additional hardware, should be good. I am short exactly one 30mm screw, so I need to find another one somewhere. Not off the table, but unlikely anytime soon. Yeah, Steve is always on it. He's got a ton of things. Sorry, I think it says Maxim something. I don't know how to pronounce your username there. It is a conversion kit from an i3. You will have to get a bunch of extra hardware and stuff to be able to do this build. But yes, it is a conversion kit. So doing an M330 through here so it can engage with those square nuts on the inside. Again, just leaving things loose. We will maybe have to adjust things to get it to align with our rail. So I'm just keeping things snug where it just barely touches the plastic, but loose at the same token. Hey, Garage Built, good morning. Yeah, slides in like the Mark IV. Hey, Ken Davis. Kenneth Davis. Thanks for being here, sir. All right, don't forget our M5. And then we'll pretty much be done with this side. That was pretty simple once you figure out the layout. For me to make sense in my head, I needed to view the front part of this. So spinning it around and deactivating some stuff in CAD to be able to see what that looks like, but that's what it should be. Again, very clean with all that black hardware on there like that. Keeping with the theme. So bearings, if you want a good shot of what those look like. Again, we have the lower one here, and then the upper one sort of deep inside. And then we'll basically mirror that on the left side here. So let's jump back to CAD, get a good idea of what we're doing. This side's a little easier to see. Not as many things in the way. Okay, so we'll just hide the door puller here. We can hide this rear block, and then get a good picture of what these bearings should look like on that front piece. So getting in here, maybe hide some of the bearing stacks. Wait. So hide the bearing, and this one hide the bearing. Okay, So now we're down just to where the washers need to be. And so looking at our part, need to pack for your work trip. All right, Aaron, we'll see you, buddy. Make sure to like the stream before you leave. Cybertech, good morning. Thanks for being here. Just like the other one, we'll remove our long 10mm bearing. Just add that into the carrier. We'll put that to the side for later. On this part here, you've got a single shim on the post in the center. And then for the rest of the shims, where did I put them? I lost them already. Oh, here we go, under the rest of the hardware. So under here, and then you've got 3 on this standalone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we can do bearings. So flange down, flange up, flange down, flange up. And then for capping it off with shims, you've now got basically the reverse. So we did 1 on the lower side of this post. We'll do 3 on the top side now. Okay. And then for the standalone, we'll just do a single shim on there. Cool. And just like before, we'll flip this, line it up. So flipping, moving hardware out of the way, line up our gantry with the holes, dropping that down as far as it'll go, and sort of pinching things together until we can tighten down some hardware. And I don't mean like fully tighten. I'm just getting that to where the head of the screw touches plastic and we start to engage either the square nut, I'm sorry, not the square nut, the hex nut, or the heat insert, and that's going to hold things together for us. There we go. Yep. So everything is just engaged enough, and then from there I can do my top M5. Beautiful black hardware, and then in the back side do the, in the front side here, you can do the same. Just snug to where we touch plastic and we get some thread engagement. Finally, we take our bearing, just slide that right in, and from here we can do hardware in the end to hold things together. I do need one more M3x30, so I'll find one for the other side. Right now it's only got the 3 bits of hardware in there, but again, we're just gonna snug these down. Actually, why am I doing this by hand? Let's use tools. My wife got me this really cool tool and I always forget to use it. So much nicer. Done. Look at that. I don't drop it all over the desk. There we go. Okay, so there is our gantry for the most part. Pretty simple, pretty easy to put together. Looking at bearings, this is what we have here. So top outer on the left, bottom outer on the right, and then reversed down inside. So if yours looks like this, probably good to go. I do have fingerprints on here. I think I got some of that rail grease on my hands, just kind of moving it around. So we'll clean it up. Bang, hot dog. That's mostly you complaining about not packing. Okay. Killer Prince, the hot dog didn't work. You just used your link and got yourself a wobbly hot dog. You bought 3 of those. Keep forgetting you have one. Thanks for the support. I'll look at the links and stuff. Sometimes they do break after a while. So if you don't go back and review them every once in a while, you get surprised. But that's the thing, you don't really know that they don't work until somebody tells you they don't work. It's not like you know, Maker World or whoever will let you know, because they probably don't know either. All right, just cleaning up some of the additional grease off these bearings here as well. Just want to make it nice for you guys. Good to go. All right, I think we should put this to the side. Let's take a look at our stealth burner piece. Actually, you know what? Let's do the, oh man, the carriage. Okay, so these are the two carriage pieces. Again, glass fiber ABS. This should be super rigid. We'll put those together like so. Get those installed on there. And what I don't know is bearing block wise, like how that really works out. I'll need to figure that one out. I'm seeing 3 holes here, but on this side I'm only seeing 1 hex nut. So how do we secure these other 2, and or what are they for? Yeah, that's what I don't know. So we'll figure that out as we go. I do need to put some hex nuts in here, so I'll do that. So we need those parts. Probably don't need the front face of the stealth burner for a while. When we need that part, that's the block to stand things off. And yeah, I think that's about it for now. Well, if we need anything else, we'll come back to it. Hey, Ella. F for them bearings. Welcome back, Mike. Nah, nicer ones? What do you mean? I'm losing it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay, so we got those. This goes here. Those 2 holes are for the apex tensioner. Okay. I'm sure I printed it. Terminology escapes me though. I need hex nuts for that. Alright. Do we have black ones? Keeping things black. Let's see. I think we're all out. I've got 2 sort of black ones here. These are that nickel-plated black stuff. Got 3 of those, and that should be enough. Put those in here. And they fit just well enough that I can press them in by hand while still not falling out. So yeah, they're good tolerances on that part. This goes on to essentially this part here will come in through the back like that, creating our part. So really cool. All right, we can get this bolted up. That just goes on there with some hardware. I want to say that is also 30. We are here. I have to hide a lot of this. If I turn off that and turn off the Nighthawk stuff and our Revo, and we'll turn the motor off. We turn off. Here we go. Carriage right, carriage left. Now we can sort of see through that, look at what the hardware is going to be. If I look down in there, that is a M3x25. Prusa is getting a bearing upgrade. Cool. Which bearings are you going with? Ella, we're actually going to give this one away. I don't know if you were here when we were talking about that, but this one will go to a very nice person. We're going to raffle it off for a good cause, and the winner will take this one home. Those are too short. Need 25. 25s, and I've got a ton of 20s. Okay, I know we have them somewhere. We'll just have to find a different batch of hardware. You'll take it, thanks. Rain and Dew ABC7. Nice. Very good bearings. I use a lot of Rain and Dew stuff. They seem to have pretty decent hardware at a decent price. Okay. We may have to stray away from all black hardware here. Luckily, this particular portion won't be seen. It's going to get covered up, so having something that's silver is not a huge deal. But it's the only 25s that I have. Thought we had more than that. I'm sure I do somewhere. What are these? These are way too long to be. Yeah, those are 30s. Okay. Go to a different container here. I definitely need to just consolidate these different containers of hardware. I have 4 of these plastic type containers that organize the hardware. What I need to do, since this is the nicer of the containers because it has the picture, I need to take the stuff out of some of the other ones and put it in here. But again, time and energy, willingness to do so. That'll make this finding of hardware a lot easier. These 25. Gotta be, they're still in the bag. Well, these are still 20s. You have a spare dragon burner you're going to use on yours? That's awesome. And when you have an extra Nighthawk 36 you want to use. Cool. You messed up when you were restocking your hardware last time and bought silver. Oh no. Oh no. I've got so much like random hardware that I generally just don't buy a lot of hardware unless it is specific to a build. Like if they call out something that's not really common, then I will get additional hardware. But as you can tell, I've got a lot of random hardware already. Where do you normally get your hardware from, Hey Fegley? Or I'm sorry, Mike. Where do you normally buy your hardware? Yeah, these are all 20s. How could I screw that up so badly? Well, dang. Okay. Moving on to another box. Let's see if we got some 25s somewhere. I have to. Feel like I used so many 30s that I got into the mojo of making sure I had enough 30s. Here we go. There's some. Making sure we had enough 30s, and then I failed to even notice that we needed these 25s. Again, this is going to be that black nickel plated stuff, so keeping it really nice for you all. Here. It's a mix of Amazon, Fastenal, and Grainger. Okay. Have you checked out Bolt Depot? That's where I get a lot of mine from. Really beginning to understand the pain of Y-axis now. You have to take it down. Oh, don't tell me that. Not looking forward to the pain. I'm still waiting for my expansion joints from Printed Solid, so we're not going to get to the Y-axis today. We will likely get the X-axis done because I screwed up and printed the 8mm rod stuff for the Z, so I need to reprint parts for that. That's on me for not paying attention to what we were doing. I should have checked that yesterday. I didn't even consider it. I thought I was good to go. I was looking to make sure we had the correct parts here, making sure I had enough hardware here. Didn't even look at what we had already installed. Cool, those are on there nice and snug. Again, don't over tighten and crack the plastic. These will go through. I want to say in the center here are 12s, 14s. 14s in the center. A little bit of an oddball size, but do what you gotta do. Let's see. I've got these. These are 12s. Try that. Yeah, 12 seems like it'll work. I don't know that it needs to be a 14. So for this build, for the parts that I have, 12 works fine. The cat is showing a 14, which is an oddball size, but do what we got to do there. So I'm just putting these in a little bit. I'm gonna loose this one a touch because I know that we need to cross bolt things, and when we cross bolt, it's going to pull these together and want to move your center line stuff. So if you have that really tight, you could crack the plastic, and that's not a good thing. Cracked plastic tends to continue to crack over time, so you don't want to crack anything if you can help it. Okay, so that's that. And then through the sides here, oh, it's a wire, but Prusa. Yeah. No, this is not a Prusa wire. Yes, it is. Are you fighting with yourself in chat? So it's a 40 going through the carriage, and you need 3, it looks like, of those. Four of those, because they hold the tensioners as well, and then also down below. So 5 in 3x40 going through. You're old and you get confused sometimes. I hear you. Okay. Again, black hardware. These are 40s. You do need 5 of these. This is left over from other Voron type builds. So luckily we do a lot of that stuff. All right. 1 through here. So again, because we didn't tighten that, it's not breaking anything. I did push the X nut out though, so careful with that one. Give that a couple turns. Same up top. This time I'm gonna hold that hex nut and put that in through the top there. Again, great tolerances on the parts that slid right in there. I didn't ream these holes or anything. And then the one at the rear of the carriage goes through, and that'll engage that hex nut on the rear side. We're just holding that with the thumb. Damascus, Everglades 3. West has the nice black LDO hardware. They do. They do. Use 30 for the tensioners. 40 is not great. Okay, cool. Thanks. I don't know that I have any more 30s though. Maybe I do. Let's see. Okay, I do. I lied. It's all in this one bin that I wasn't looking at earlier. So we don't need 40s to there. We can do that. Just making sure I got everything. Cool. So 3 40s and then 2 30s according to Ella. So got my 2 30s there that should go through where the tensioners are. And so what I like to do now is tighten this stuff down. So using my electric tool, because it's here, we'll get those snug. Little past tight. Don't want to crack that plastic, but that should pull your parts together. And then after you do that, you can get in here in the center and tighten down these face ones and really pull things together, keep it as one rigid block. Now, really the only downside I'm seeing to this one is this is essentially a normal Switchwire carriage, but it's spaced off of the of the rail. So that center of gravity, that tool head mass, is going to be spaced off of your rail a little bit more than what you normally would have. Roughly 20 millimeters off of the rail. Now that is purely to get belt alignment, but something to be cognizant of. If you add a gigantic heavy tool head, you could get some flexing going down. So if you're running into like bed leveling issues, maybe that's a cause. So I would use something glass fibers, so you reduce the amount of flex in your parts. If you're using PETG or something like that, you may get a little more flex. So use something carbon fiber, glass fiber. ABS is a little more rigid. That'll help that from leaning or twisting at all. But that could be a concern. So make sure your center stuff is pretty snug on there without cracking anything. And we're still moving great, so should be good to go. From here, I know I need to add those. What are the things? What did you guys call them? The apex clips? Is that what you were calling them? Going back to our bin of parts here. I want to say I printed them in orange. There we go. There's one of them. So I think I need to put some heat inserts in there. There is the other. And that should be it. Probably going to need that in a bit. Okay. Apex clips. That's these here. I'm seeing a heat insert there and there. But I need to put those in. Going back over to our CAD here. And I had you guys on Chrome the whole time. I apologize. We should have been on the overhead cam. The belt tensioning aspect is your own design. Great. I think it looks pretty cool. And they install vertically. And I'm seeing like 2 clip pieces that hold your belts in place, which is awesome. Do I need to do that now? Because I don't know that I have the belts ready to go yet. Can I install belts later? Then you have more parts here. There's a dot on each of the red parts. Yeah, I'm seeing the dots. Number 1 and number 2. Does that correspond to something? Okay, I'm seeing it. Single dot to the rear, double dot to the front. That's cool. All right, we get the soldering iron heated. Get some heat certs out. Just doing this by hand here. That one, and then one more here. Okay. Yeah, I noticed the dots on these 2 parts earlier. They were a little hard for me to see just from the way the lighting is and whatnot. But yeah, there's a single dot here, double dot here. Rear side for the single dot, front side for the double dot. Those look like they go in like this. So from the bottom, holding this up, I got them backwards. So this way, double dot to the front, and they go this, and they just sort of slide in like that. Or they don't slide in because they don't fit. So I should have put these in first. Is that what I'm learning? Hey, Christian. Got the evening sun beaming down on you while you work. It's nice. All right. Yeah, it's really been kind of hot here the last couple of days. So not able to do that, but cooled down a little bit today. I think I need to take this off. I don't know. I don't see how I can get those in there without it. The hole in the bottom I thought would be big enough. It's just not. So we take things apart. Well, that's good. We're learning together that the process and the order in which you do this kind of matters a little bit. So I'm just take one side of this off here. So undo those 5 bolts. They should come out of here. Why are you not working? All right, I'm gonna just take the screws all the way out because it's too much friction to come all the way off on its own. There we go. That rear one just keeps grabbing the plastic and not wanting to let it go. Here we go. Okay. So I think first these should probably go in. The heat set side of it goes to the bottom. And again, number 1 on this side, number 2 on this side. I'm just double checking there that is correct. So they go in like that. And then from here, we can put this back together. Trying not to lose those pieces. And my hex nuts at the same time. One at a time. You would install one end of the belt. All right, so I don't even have belts cut. And so I need 2 belts. Is that what you're telling me, Aaron? I need to install 2 belts right now. I have extra belt. Let's see. We're gonna do all new belts on this, just to eliminate any craziness. Let's see. I've got. Oh, that's all 1.5. Okay. Where is my belt? Here we go. Oh, that's 9 mil. Not that one. Okay. This should be 6, I think. Yeah, here's some GT2 6mm belt. You found it. Yeah, 2 belts just get a tooth count to match. Yep, and I have a tool for that. We're gonna use this guy right here. Right. Let's cut some belt open. Oh no, this is 9mm belt. That's not what I need. I can tell I build a lot of 9mm stuff. I've got a ton of 9mm belt. What I don't have a ton of is 6mm belt. That's what we're on the hunt for. Some 6mm belt. I hope that I have some, because that would be pretty embarrassing right now. Because I have 6. So I've got this 6mm belt here. I think this is good. I think that's 2.0. The other stuff is 1.5. And I know that's not going to work because we have different pulleys on the motors right now. So I would have to swap out motors. Okay, yep, got it. Yep, so this is all 6mm here. Okay. Whew. I was a little nervous. I've got this package and one other. A lot of my stuff lately has been 9mm, so I've got extra on that. This is one of the last bits of 6mm belt that I have in the correct tooth count, that is. The other stuff is a what do you want to call it, 1.5 spacing on the tooth pattern. You've seen so little about this conversion, but you have one question: is there a neck extruder stealth burner? Not that I know of. Eat the dead. Not that I know of. Right now, it looks like the official supported ones. We could take a look at the project. So it looks like the official supported ones are this stealth burner, which is pretty stock. There's a couple of changes, right, to adopt the probe, but other than that, you're looking at Anthead as your, you know, sort of officially supported ones. There's no reason you couldn't have, I don't know, a A4T or Dragon burner or something like that if you really wanted to. I can't imagine there'd be compatibility issues with that, but you do want to make sure that it fits onto the stealth burner pattern. That's the thing. So I don't know what a neck extruder stealth burner is. I've never seen that, but if you can make it fit on a stealth burner pattern, I think it should work. There's an extruder to MGM12 mod. Well, I mean, if it exists, I would imagine it works. So, cool. And thanks for the sub, Christian. I missed that a little bit ago. I can cut 9 seconds to 6 seconds. Oh, 9s to 6. Yeah, not doing that. Not doing that today. We do have 6mm belt. How much of this do I need, though? That's the question. Sorry, I'm switching a lot on you guys. How much do I need? There's the BOM. As far as motion, it looks like I need 3 meters. So 1.5 meters for each side. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong here. There we go, this one. Motion. Let's see. I need a 1600mm piece. That's probably for X and Y, and then a 1000mm piece, probably for the Y axis. So XZ is about 800 each. You guys agree? I think maybe we'll cut 8, I don't know, 20 or something like that to add some slop. Let me get the giant ruler out here. My 3 meter stick. We call for 1600. I think I cut a bunch of belt. Yeah, I'm seeing the 1600 in the BOM. What I'm not seeing is, I guess I just have that for each of the axes. Forget how much you cut, but it was a bunch. Okay, so I'll just cut one piece of 1600, and then we'll cut that in half. So there is 1 meter. And then there is 600. So I've got my 1600mm belt. And then what I like to do is I use my fancy green tool here. And this guy has 2 indexes on here to help me align the belt. So from here, I just do a rough cut to be in the middle. So I'm aligning the teeth. You'll have one long tooth, so this is exaggerated, but when you intermesh these two, you have a long side and a short side. I'm going to just do that like to their one tooth off, like that, and I kind of pinch that. So now my long side is over here, my short side is over here, but it's only 1 tooth difference. And then I take that and I put it through the tool, and so I can see long side up top, short side at the bottom. As I feed that through my tool, it's going to help me pinch that together, keeping that belt tooth distance in there. And so as I run this down, going to keep the meshing of the teeth. Keep the meshing of the teeth all the way down. So as I pull it through, I don't lose my place. And so at the end of this, it should keep my belt aligned. So it's a little bit to manage the belt. It does want to coil up, so you got to go a little bit slow, but you can do this pretty easily. Just pull that through. It works better with 9mm belts. They're a little bit thicker, so you get a little bit more tension on the teeth. These like to slide a little too much, so I'm just trying to be careful here. And we slide that through so we get to the end of the belt, and then I can cut from there, and hopefully these are the same. And then I'll have one extra tooth on the end of the lower side. Just measured yours. Am I sure it's cut in half? 1,500 twice? Ah, so 3,000 total. It does say times 2. Oh dear, I think you just cut too short. Yeah, I think I did too. So I needed 2 of these instead of just the, I need 2 lengths of 1,600, not a single. Got it. Well, you know what? Things happen. We'll save that for decoration or something. That's me not paying attention. It's getting a little warm out here, so I'm getting hot. Wanting to not be out here very much longer. So here in about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, we'll do a little bit of a giveaway. We'll start winding down. Living in the desert is not as conducive to streaming in a unconditioned garage. So 2 lengths of 1,600. So now I kind of probably barely have enough. We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. So there's 1 length of 1,600. All right. So a new length of 1,600 cut right there. And then over here, let's see how much we have. That one gets me to about 1325. So just a touch short. That kind of blows. We can use this for the y-axis though, because we only need a 1,000 millimeter section. So this will be for our y-axis. I do have one more package of 6mm belts. This one here. This one here. And from this we can cut. This is a huge roll. This is 10 meters. So we've got plenty. Not super worried about it. We'll find something to do with those other belts. Maybe those will become XY belts on a micron or something. I still need to rebuild that machine as well. To be continued on that one. Okay. So just undoing this one. Let's run this out to a meter. And then we'll get another 600 on there. We'll cut that right there. No biggie. All right. 2 1,600-meter lengths of belt. Put it on the next time. Exactly, Mike. Don't get upset about doing stuff like that. It's just, it's belt. And you know, it is money, but it's not that expensive to get more belt. I need to order more anyway. This is my last package of a 6mm belt. So we'll be good for a little bit, but any other printer builds are probably going to need a little bit more just to feel comfortable. I like to have spares because when you're running printers pretty hard and you're testing a lot, you can break some belts sometime. Okay. So I think I need to put this through. Do I need to take this apart to do the to do the belts? Is that how you guys do it? Keep losing this hex nut here. Wish they were all heat inserts instead of hex nuts. So you've got these hex nuts. They're in there a little bit, but once I start to take this on and off, they kind of fall out. I wish they were hex nuts. It would just mean quality of life improvement there. I think I do these first. Is that right? Am I just putting belts in? At least I didn't cut the... Yeah, I know. I know. Add to wish list. So Ella or Aaron, am I supposed to insert belts in here first and then, you know, put everything together? Because if that's the case, I need to run it through this left-hand side. Run it through the left-hand side and then into this, and then sort of like try to hold everything together at the same time. Is that what I'm doing? You would suggest it? Okay. Let me take a look at this ad again. I don't know which side the teeth are on. Maybe the teeth go to the top. Yeah, teeth go through the top. And the way that I'm understanding that is if I look at the part, that's where all the indexing features are on the top of this part. So I think the belt teeth need to go up. Let's see. Put your belt clip on the orange bit first. Tooth sticking out each side. Okay. Like one or two. Okay. And then feed the belt through the carriage. Okay. You can definitely do that. Okay. So we said number 1 is at the rear. So we go belt in 1 or 2 teeth. I think I'm going to do 2. And then I need my little clip things. Got a couple of those. I think I printed spares just because I wasn't sure. Okay, so that goes in. She said 1 or 2 teeth sticking out. I'm going to have 2 teeth sticking out here. And then as I press this in through the back, that should create a friction point. Keep that belt in place. It kind of pushed the belt out on me a little bit. Be careful with that one. Pull that belt back through. Man, that's on there really good. Good job. Good job. Okay. Try to do this without pushing the belt through there more. That's the hard part. Where are we at? Okay. Basically flush. Great. There we go. So teeth are on top of the part as that would be installed. That's number 1. That goes at the rear. And then we'll take the other belt here. Do the same thing. And the way that worked for me is pressing it in, using my thumb to keep it flush with the outside of the part. So as I turn that upside down, I'm just folding the belt down to create space for this lock to go in. And then once you jam that in there, it should be pretty solid. Okay, so that belt came out a little bit. Need to push it back in some more. Wasn't holding it exactly. Pinching it on the backside, trying to keep it at that 1 tooth sticking out like Ella suggested. And now as I press this in there, hopefully that is what we need. Yeah, this is not that difficult, but it's probably the most difficult part of the build so far. Just making sure you have the right number of teeth sticking out. So 1 on that side, and 1 on that side. Cool. Number 2 goes in the front. Number 1 at the rear based on what I'm seeing. And then this sort of feeds through. Got it. So that will go in here like that. I'm going to hold that with my hand and then feed the belt through the left hand side part. Pushing that through the lower hole on there. Pull it out that side. Cool. Got a little twisted up there. Okay, we'll undo some of that. Come on, you. Yeah, my belt got really twisted. I'll tell you what, we're gonna do a little trick. I'm gonna take my long screws and just sort of put them in there right now to hold on to those parts so I don't have to hold it with my hand. That'll give me extra fingers to do work with. Just engaging those to hold them in place. All right. Now they give me a free hand. I don't have to hold that stuff in there. So as I was putting this belt through, it sort of got all twisted around and everything, and that's not getting jammed as you push it through. So what I'm going to recommend, let's go ahead and straighten this all the way out. And I know that the teeth need to go up, so when I insert this through the part there, I'm going to try to keep that same orientation. The teeth going up through the part. And then using my free hand to smooth that out as it goes through. Now that's a much better solution. Okay, now we'll do the other belt, the number 2 belt here. Same thing, smooth that out. Teeth going up through that left-hand part. Using my free hand to smooth the path. Cool, and that worked out a lot better. So now we'll put all of this together at the same time. Going through the part. Yeah, again, this build's super simple. This is, you know, probably the toughest part about it, although it's not very tough. It's just a lot of moving parts, you know? And you got to think through the order of operations there. Okay, cool. And yeah, got all my hex nuts still, so we can tighten this guy down. Okay. Ella, how many hours do you have on your build so far? I think Aaron would say he had something like 90 hours, and he loves it. As the original, I figured you would have a lot more hours on yours. Sweet. So that goes like that. I can remove these additional 2 screws. Oh, not many, less than that, really? I thought because it seemed like you were testing so much that you would have more. Yeah, if I were keeping this one, I'd probably put it in the farm to use for PLA and PETG. I kind of wish I could keep it. Kind of wish I could. All right, so I'm seeing as I did that, like the blocks inside tried to lean forward and they're not aligned anymore. So I need to just hit these up. There we go. Yeah, as I was moving that around, those blocks moved on the inside. And it's not allowing the hardware to go through, so readjust here. Make sure these go back to where they need to be. Gotta hold that with a tool. And then that looks like it's going well. Okay. You can see the hardware coming through the heat sets inside. Good. This other one, not so much. The forward one doesn't want to play nice. There it goes. Okay. Little bit fiddly to get that to go. Seems like it's working now. I don't want to tighten that down. That is our tensioner, right? So just got it so it engages on the screw. And looking down through the hole, you can see and check where you are. So those look good to me. All right, so that was probably the hardest part of the whole build, and actually not that. We can reassemble here on the front. Oh wait, oh yes, you're right. The orange belt should stick to the right. What? Stick to the right. They are on the right. What do you mean? We need a manual. I'm backwards on the tensioners. Of course I am. Of course I am. So you're saying the free side? Because, yeah. The free end of the belt should come out the right. The belts go through the other way. All right. Yeah, okay. So the free end of the belt should come out this. All right, let's go over to CAD real quick. ETA, Prusa, ask Uncle Google. I know. Aaron, we need to partner up and get it done, man. Okay. All right. So looking at the CAD here, the same side as the dots, that's the free end of the belt. Is that what you're telling me? Let me get a photo for, okay. It's your Discord description. Okay. So I need to redo all the stuff that I just did. Dropped a photo on the Discord. Okay, let me go check that out. Under printer builds. Okay, so looking at my carriage. Yes, I'm seeing what you're saying. Okay. Okay, that's cool. We can redo. Get it right. I don't know that we're gonna get to Stealth Burner today. Again, I need to print parts and do all that kind of stuff, but we will do the giveaway here as soon as we get this correct. As soon as we get this correct. Okay. Undoing all that hardware that we put in. Pull this off once again. Some of these screws just don't want to come out of the plastic. I don't know if they just got a little tight in there. Push them out. There we go. Okay. So, undoing the belt. I thought that was a little weird the way that we were doing it, but I was just trying to trust the process. Trying my best to follow along with what you guys are saying. Okay, so if the belts come out of this side, so then the free end should be the same side as the heat set, is what we're saying. Nearly all back together. We've done this like 40 times. Yeah, your picture was super helpful there, Ella. Thank you. Okay, so undoing this. Belts come out. The free end comes out the same side as the heat insert. So this goes in like that. And then the lock goes in the back side. So this is what we're saying right here. So this will be installed in the printer this way, and we want this to come out this side, right? And that one just fell on the floor. That's fine. I got it. Cool. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, it's not clear in the CAD because it's one solid belt, and that's fine. It's just, yeah, I need to make a note on the manual for that one. Doing the same thing here, trying to get this lock in there. I think I had only one tooth up about this side. So I want to make sure they match. They match. All right, we're good again. So realistically, I can do everything on this one right half and just put these locks through this single part. I don't have to thread it back through the other side. So going through here like that, and then that part holds it. And then same over here on this side. Cool. And then this is a lot easier to install when you're trying to put all these things together. That's a lot easier to make happen. Okay. Couple turns on there to hold it. Same for this one on the back. Couple turns to hold it. We got another one through here. And where is X nut fell out. So that one back in. That one in. Couple turns to hold it. We'll get the tool out and snug these down, hopefully for the last time. That, and then our what are these 30s? We go through the blocks again, trying to hold those blocks into place. Try to get it started. Doesn't want to be. There we go. That one is started, and then we'll try to make the other one match here. So in the other block. So those are both good to go, and then we finally can get this on here for good, and then we'll do a giveaway. All right, let's go through the top. Okay, make sure all of these are snug. Don't want those moving. Okay, should be good now. What I've got for those still paying attention, what I've got now is all the belting coming out the right hand side of the things. I think we're pretty much there to where I need to build a stealth burner. So before we start getting into any of that, I want to take a look at doing a filament giveaway. Who wants some free filament? If you want free filament, put in the chat, I do. That way we know who's still here. I'm seeing 37 people. So I'm cleaning up just a little bit so we can get started on this. Wow, thanks for the sub, guys. Richard, thanks for the sub. Holitio, thanks. Cody wants filament. Ken Davis wants filament. Martin does. Christian does. Ella does, but she's too European. I know. I'm working on it. Trying to get you hooked up there. On the hunt for a sponsor. So if anybody's got an inroad to be able to sponsor filament giveaways in Europe, let me know. I'm down. Tin Talon does. Tin Talon, we already took care of you, sir. But that doesn't mean you can't win again. I mean, if there's filament, you won't say no. Petty will never turn it down. We know that. Richard, yeah, hey, welcome, man. Thanks for the sub. All right, let's do it. I think that's enough waffling. Let's get over to, you don't need this anymore. Let me get you over to Chrome, and then we'll take a look at Wheel of Names. So let me pull in all of these responses. For those that have not signed up for the giveaway, you need to do so in the next, like, 20 seconds. So if you haven't entered, do it now. Where are we at? Okay. Here's the Wheel of Names. Let me pull in everybody. For those that haven't, you have literally 10 seconds and you're going to be locked out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. If you're not in there, sorry. You'll have to participate next week. I'm seeing 11 people. Only 11 people want filament? Robert's in here? Yeah, I see Robert. Cody, did you not want more filament, bro? Robin, Petty has so much free filament. He does. He does. Petty rocks in his band. Mike, I'm not seeing you guys. Let me update. Make sure, but I'm seeing 11 folks. Odds are looking good. I'll tell you what, just in case, I'll reopen this for the next couple of minutes. If you have not been in the giveaway, you need to get in the giveaway. I'm seeing 27 responses. But on my spreadsheet over here, it's only recording, I think, 10 of those. That's weird. Hold on. It says you're in there? Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing on the form itself, but for the Google sheet, it's not giving me the right. It's not copying everything over. It's crazy. Let me do some work behind the scenes here. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not pulling in your guys' responses. So we'll make a new one. There we go. Now we got it. All right. Make it easy to take the filament. You're welcome. Okay, I think I have 28 responses. First was Jeff. Jeff Kess is the first, and then Aaron is the last one at number 28. So, thank you all. We're going to close down any other responses in 5 seconds. While we're waiting, is there a good source for royalty-free music for YouTube videos? I think YouTube will have its own music stuff that you can use that is free. But if you're looking for like a paid version, which is what I would recommend, I think Epidemic Sounds I've heard is decent. There are other pay-for-play type royalty-free music that you can license and things like that. I don't use one myself, so I don't have a very good answer for you. I can just tell you what I've heard. Prefer MP3? Yeah, I'm not sure, Cybertech. But the Filament giveaway is closed now. So, refreshing your list, and we can pull in all of your usernames and add that to our wheel. All right, I need numbers, folks. How many times did we spin in this thing? How many times? I see 37 people here. Cody says 13. I'm seeing 2 13s now. A couple of 7s, 3 7s. DaVinci 10, you don't see your name? Did you sign up? Tell you what, we haven't spun yet. Let me add you in here. Okay, you're on there now. Your name's not there? Robert? Yeah, so it looks like some tech challenges today. Let's add Robert on here. I know you were in there. I saw you earlier. Richard. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing you either. That's crazy. Let's add Richard. Okay, you're on there now. Anybody else not see their name on the wheel? Looks like the form wasn't exactly working out. Hey, Fegley, okay. I'm just gonna shorten your name to that. But you're on there now. How can I win if all these names keep getting added? I know. How can you win? You're gonna have to get here early. So the only reason I'm adding names is I recognize that there was a little bit of tech challenges on copying names from the form you guys put in over to the Excel. So that's it. We can add Patrick on here. Patrick, you're on. Oh, I know you're just playing. I'm just trying to be as fair as possible, that's all. With technology challenges, that's no one's fault. It just kind of happens, right? Streams recently have been canceled because, you know, things and stuff. So just trying to be as fair as possible to all of you for hanging out for as long as you have. Cool. We got everybody, yeah? All right, I think the number is 7. I'm not doing 69. See a lot of 7, so we'll spin this 7 times. Patrick, I've already added you on. You're right here. You're at the bottom of the list. But we're gonna spin. We're gonna shuffle. Excuse me, 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just as you need daylight. Okay. Spin. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, Ken Davis. Ken Davis. Are you here, sir? You got to tag me in chat. Tag me in chat so I know you're here. Ken Davis, you have 69 seconds to tell me you're here. And then we're going to move on. Oh, there he is. There he is. Got to threaten him with the timer. It's a name you recognize. Yeah, congratulations, Ken. I'll get that sent over to you. The way that my Filament stream giveaway works, I get on the rack behind me here. I pick out something that I'm probably not going to use, and I send it to you. So this is coming from me directly to you. So what I need from you is to reach out to me either on Discord or through YouTube or some way like that. You can hit me on Twitter or any of the social media sites. Send me a message. I need your address, your US address that I can send this to you, okay? and then I'll get that out to you sometime in the next couple of days. Yep, Steven missed it, man. Sorry. 285 coming your way, Ken Davis. You're not wrong. Hey, Ref, I did find some 285. So building this whole thing behind me here, I did find some 285. I thought I had 0 left, but here's how long. You ready for this? I'll show you this. This is the only 285 that I have. It's some white PC 285. This was gifted to me when I was printing airplane parts, and at the Spark cell that I was using, the STEM lab I was using, they had 2 Ultimakers, and so they had a ton of this stuff. Eventually, I switched it out, got rid of it, and I walked home with this brand new unopened package of 285. So yeah, I got some 285 PC. I'll probably use this to make umbilicals, and just use this as like an umbilical support. There's only 750 grams, which is more than enough to do a crap ton of printers. So yeah, unopened. I found this the other day. All right, Ken, we'll get you hooked up with that. Congratulations. Make sure you shoot me a message. Coming back over here, again, I need to reprint some parts before I can install the gantry that we just built. I think I'd rather do that before I put on a stealth burner and everything else. So that's probably where I'm going to call it for today. All the umbilicals. Yeah, we still need to build a tool changer on this stream. Oh, you got Ultimaker 2 at work? I think they're on like Ultimaker 8 now. You got a 2+? Holy crap. Okay, so I don't have what I need to do a Y-axis. I don't have the parts I need to finish the Z. Stealth burner should be the last thing that we put on. So what else can we do here? Maybe we can add the screen on the front. That's a couple of parts. We can do that real quick. I've got about 10-15 minutes left on stream. I only like to go roughly till about 10 o'clock, so kind of on time. Let's see. The rest of these parts are in this bucket. Looks like I need a couple of heat inserts in this piece as well. So we can do that over here. Silly question, why are the Z? Oh, Cody, I moved them because I thought we were going to put 10mm rods. I thought we were going to install these rods, so I lifted them up so I could drop these in and then drop those on top. Turns out I didn't print the right parts and those are too small, so I just left them there. Not a silly question at all. It's just a silly decision by me to not pay attention to what I needed. You have a roll of 3mm orange? Wow, 3mm. I haven't even heard of that in so long. All right, so this is the stock screen, LDO basic screen that came with the printer. I think the way this one works is you have these 2 brackets, and there's a left and a right, it appears, because of this extra piece here. And I think the way this goes is these sort of just slide onto the board itself. And I know that's upside down, but it just kind of slide on like that to hold it, and then this bolts into the front of the machine. So we'll take you back over to the CAD, look at what that looks like. Turn off the front face, and we can grab the board itself, turn that off. All right, now I get a good view of what that looks like. Okay, so looks like the one with the extra flange on it goes to the left side, and the normal side is on the right. We do need a couple heat inserts. Got me a message on Discord. P3PO. Great. I'll take a look after stream, and I'll be in contact. Okay. So if you haven't already, just drop your address to me, and I will get you what you need. Cool. So I need to do a couple of heat inserts, and then we can sort of wrap this up by installing the front controller on. Heat inserts. You need 4, 2 for either part here. These go in pretty easily. I think from what I remember, this is how the original screen was installed as well. Just sort of sliding onto the controller face like we're about to do. So this goes on to, that's upside down that way. Goes on to the left side of the printer, just like that, and sort of just holds it. And then same on this right side, sort of slides on like that and holds it there. And that's pretty good as far as a printed part. If you get a PF Makes belt tensioner, you're gonna love how simple it is to tension. Ella, you mean like this one? Because I also have the BQ version as well. So we've got both. We have options in this workshop. Yeah, I love that PF Makes. Because I build so many printers, that thing has been useful ever since it came out. Okay, so it looks like 2 screws that go into the plastic here. So we don't want to tighten those down a ton. But that goes on like that. And we turn this over. Controller should be... Oh, I've got these like upside down, I think. Oh, they go on like that. Oh, the card. Pull the card out. Duh. And then it'll fall down in there. Those 2 screws will go in these bottom left corners here to hold things in. Nothing in the top from what I can tell. Just so happens I've got 2 screws right here. The PF looks simpler to use and read. I tend to agree. The PF though has information for 6mm belts, and the BQ I want to say has info for 9 and 6, but you have to do like a conversion chart, so it's a little more work to get it done. Honestly, I haven't used the BQ very much, but I do know that there's a chart that you have to convert your data into. But that's what happens when you put like a millimeter scale on there instead of just doing a normal, I don't know, a normal tension meter. Okay, let's use some shorter screws. I think I have some 6s in here somewhere. So there's one, and this guy here. The only time you used it, you had to use ChatGPT. Yeah, I think they've updated the... It says M3x10s. I think they've updated the documentation on their GitHub. And so if you go on there, they have a chart now you can use. But that was not available when they released it. I got mine when they released it, and I didn't have an idea on how to use it. So I think I just got in the habit of not using it. Again, giving you guys that nice black hardware. It needs to go in there more. There we go. You're thinking the left and right are backwards? They shouldn't be. So looking at CAD, this side has the flange on it, and if I spin that around, it matches what I'm seeing in CAD. We'll take a look though. So we don't want to crack things, so just till it's tight, stops turning, and then I'm gonna stop. Again, it should be able to stay where it needs to stay with just a little bit of tension on there. It doesn't need to be super tight. There's a clip at the front, I think. Maybe not. I don't know, mine doesn't seem to want to be in there flush for some reason. Is it not in enough? I think maybe before I completely hulk it. Hopefully a better version of ChatGPT at math than the one that thinks 11 is bigger than 9. The cover has slots the legs sit into. Yeah, I think so too, Steven. That's why I'm taking these back out real quick. It's not, the face is not sitting flush in there. The legs are sitting into the slots here that are covered, that are cut out for it. So that's not the issue. The issue is the screen on the front here is not sitting flush inside the pocket. So I think what I need to do instead is kind of come in from this way, like that, and go down. This goes over more like that. Same here. But again, my face is not sitting flush with the face on here. And I can't really understand why right now. I wonder if it's these pins that are sticking out the top of the board. But it doesn't want to sit flush. See what I'm saying? Can you guys tell what I'm doing? Hi. Oh no. Okay, that's much better. I think I just needed to undo it and redo it a few times. And now it seems to be like deep in there. So the screen is actually flush with the housing like it should be. But yeah, I'm thinking those pins on the front of this board were just sticking out a little too much. So now I should be able to secure it in there. That SD card slot lines up a lot better as well. Look under my thumb. I don't know. Cover has slots that yeah, I got you. Sorry, I was trying to figure it out on my own here. Multicolor print for the cover. Yes, sir, multicolor. So you've got your inlaid orange on the front and on the button here. Printed off the H2D with the dual nozzle. So that's that, and then we can put the button on there. What I chose to do was also do a little multicolor on this one. So if you want a different knob, we could talk about it for the winter. But this is the knob that I chose to print. So it's the same glass fiber orange as the other ones, but this has that color swap to give you a little bit of black on there as well. Mine doesn't want to go on there very easily. It's almost like it's too shallow, like the knob is too shallow. So I'll have to reprint that. Number one, it's loose, it's not very tight, and then number two, it's not as deep as it should be. So we'll redo that one. You guys can pick out whatever knob you want if and when you win it. Nope, the knob is perfect. How do you enter for the Prusawire giveaway? Spectra V3. I have not opened it yet. It will be a raffle, not necessarily a giveaway. It's a raffle that we will do, I think $10 for a ticket is where we are. So essentially this printer can be yours for 10 bucks. But we're still setting up what the details are on that one. And I'll get back to you on stream as soon as we nail down how we're going to do it. Should do the Oreo cookie one. That would be cool. Because Halloween is coming up. We could do orange on it. want to see what size screws we have through the back side here. Looks like M3x10s through the back. Reusing a lot of the hardware from the original build. Pull out a couple of 10s. And a tool. You'd buy this for $10? Well, Petty, you certainly can, sir. With your luck, you may just take it home. So what we're talking about behind the scenes is potentially each ticket costing $10. That's pre-decisional, but I think that's where the sweet spot is. Again, not final, but I think that makes sense. I think $10 is obtainable for most folks. We're gonna limit the tickets though, so I can't have 1,000 people enter. So I think what we're talking about is scaling back the number that we offer of raffle tickets. So once it happens, it's gonna go quick. 10s don't work through here. They need to be longer than that. You might want to buy more tickets. Yeah, you might want to buy all the tickets if available. You want to guarantee that you're gonna win? I'd buy multiple tickets. But here's the thing. It's not just the Prusawire. There will be other prizes that you could potentially win. Yeah, I think that's too long. I don't know why 10s wouldn't work through there. They seem too short. Maybe it just wasn't aligned with the hole or something? Yeah, there we go. Can you turn up your mic? You can barely hear me. I am at max on my mic. I've got a little bit of room to play with. I don't talk very loud anyway, but I'm seeing up near the top of what I feel comfortable increasing the volume to. Otherwise, I'm going to blow out your drums a little bit. How much does all the tickets cost? It depends on how many tickets we decide we want to go with. It's not going to be 1,000, I'll tell you that. But it also will not be, 50. So we're trying to figure it out. I'm just giving you all a preview as my audience here. One of the perks of coming to hang out for the duration is that you learn about stuff before other folks learn about stuff. I think this is a little bit long. Shipping would kill us for international. You're not wrong. Yeah, it's got to be U.S. only. Again, this is helping out a nonprofit. All proceeds will go to the nonprofit. And which means any of the money raised will need to cover the cost of shipping these items to whoever the winners are. And for some locations, that may cost a lot. And we don't want to impact the charitable giving too much. But I think you guys will be happy. I think there's enough things that we plan to do with this raffle that there's potentially something for everyone. Man, these screws are just difficult to get through there. I probably did this out of order. I'll tell you what, let's take this front cover off. I just can't get those through the hole. Yeah, audio's fine. I think it's fine too. Spectra, I would recommend, if you're able to, I would check your volume levels. I don't have much more to be able to change on my end. YouTube is all the way up and your laptop is also. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. If I turn it up anymore, I'm gonna start clipping audio, and that would be bad for everyone. Yeah, Ella's saying we're good. There goes the sunset. Yeah, Ella, we sit on the back patio as well most nights and watch the sunset. It's been really incredibly hot the last week and a half, so not a lot of outdoor activity whatsoever. But in the evenings, it gets down to 80 degrees, so it's not too bad. Cody's at 50, and I sound great. Sound is good for Patrick. That's great. Thanks, guys. You're building printers to the sunset. It's great. Yeah. I watch the sunrise when I build printers. I'm actually up at 4:30 in the morning, and I come out here and prep for stream. Try to be prepared for whatever is going on, and then yeah, so that's what I would recommend. And then we start streaming. So what I would recommend is go ahead and build this front skirt piece first. Put your screen on second, and then attach the whole thing to the printer. Trying to get in from the back with this hardware, these 10mm screws, not very easy. Much easier this way. That way I can lay the screen down like this, and then just attach from the back. You're watching 3D Musketeer. Oh man, you try streaming over here. Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, I like to support the same audience, right? So once I get done, I usually almost immediately turn on Steve Builds and catch up with him as I clean up out here and reset everything for next week. I tend to charge all the things, clean up all the crap we got laying around, and all that stuff. Laptop speakers suck. Yeah, it might be the laptop, it might be the fact that you got a few streams going. I'm not really sure, but I do appreciate you tuning in regardless. All right, so those are on there pretty well. And then we'll go in through the front here with this other hardware. Trying to get that set. Yeah, so that's the order of operations I would do this. Attach the screen to the front skirt first, and then put the front skirt on, if I could speak. Just kind of get it on there a little on one side, and then a little on the other. Had a screw roll away somewhere. I gotta find that guy. Right there. Yeah, I'm using a ball end to be able to get into the tight area here. But if you had a longer straight driver, that would work for you too. This length of a ball end works good for what I'm doing here. And then to make it even more Switchwire looking, you've got your cover plates here. The logo goes up this way. So if you want to match it, it goes this way. This would be upside down. Grab the other tool here. Get this going a little quicker. But we're going to pretty much wrap the stream here in a couple of minutes after we get this done. If you guys have any other questions about things and stuff, want to know more about this printer, sorry I don't have a ton of more information about the raffle. Again, we're still figuring that out. There's a lot of legal rules and stuff that come along with a raffle. We want to make sure that we don't put 3D printing elves in a bad spot. So we're double checking all the things, crossing our T's and dotting our I's to make sure we're good to go. you don't have one of these, recommend it. It's a wow stick. I think it works pretty well for what I do. It's like an aluminum casing too. It came with a ton of bits. I just don't use it very often. It's not my habit pattern, but I plan to start doing it more. Either way, that's where we are. Sorry we didn't get as much progress as we would like today. I need to reprint 4 parts, so I'll get that kicked off here in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out and talking shop with me while we're out here building this Prusawire. Do me a favor, whether you want to or not, spread the word about the raffle. I can understand that you want to keep it low numbers or whatnot, but this is for a good cause. We want to make sure that we're helping kids have a really good Christmas and they have a great time. So do me a favor, spread the word about the raffle. Again, more info will come out via social medias and myself and Armor 3D's YouTube channel. And if we get other folks involved with it and they participate in some way, I'm sure they'll be talking about it as well. So thanks for all of your help, Ella and Aaron in the chat. Reth, thanks for your help on getting this thing off the ground and for the good idea of raffling this thing off. More to come on that in the following weeks. So stay tuned. Next week, definitely getting the gantry installed. We're going to get the stealth burner on, hopefully belted. And then we probably have one more stream where we talk about electronics and probably firmware setup type stuff. It's a little different because we are using that INZ board. So we need to flash things a little differently, okay? So we'll get through some of that stuff. See you guys over on Steve Builds stream. If you have not heard of Steve Builds, he does a very similar kind of thing where he's always building a thing. Right now he's working on Micron. So I'll see you guys over there in the chat, okay? Y'all have a good week. We'll see you next Sunday.